And now we have the absolute worst of this entire franchise. Yeah. Yes. This fucking thing. I'm just gonna make this as quick as possible, okay? Because I do not want to be here talking about this piece of shit for the next couple minutes.
Honey, you're giving me goosebumps. No mercy! You fucked up, bitch.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Alien Resurrection is still my pick for the worst fucking Alien movie in this entire fucking franchise. Now, this was directed by John Pierre Jeunet. This is written by Joss Whedon. I know all the shit that he did, but I can still appreciate him as a filmmaker for what he did give us, good and bad. Stars Sigourney Weaver, Winona Ryder, Brad Dourif, Michael Wincott, J.E. Freeman, Dan Hedaya, and Ron Perlman. This is set 200 years after Alien 3, and Ellen Ripley is cloned, of course, and so her erstwhile employers are long gone, and this time the military resurrects the one-woman killing machine through genetic cloning to extract the alien from within her. But during the process, the DNA is fused with the queen, and then the aliens escape, and now Ripley must decide where her allegiance lies. So after Alien 3 was a huge disaster, they decided they wanted to go back full force. And so what happened was, this was planned as Joss Whedon had written an Earthset script. And so what happens is, they had to freaking, once again, Fox came in and studio interfered with this film. And Sigourney Weaver did not want to do this, of course. But she came back and did it for the money. So what happened was, John Pierre Jeunet signed on to a script with the help of a visual effects supervisor named Pitoff, who would later go on and direct Catwoman. And what happened was, the film script was laid out to a comic book, and then what happens was, a lot more people were positive on it, but the studio interference here once again fucked it up. And Joss Whedon was very unhappy with it, but then H.R. Giger was very pleased with it, but disappointed by not being credited. And I don't feel like going to studio interference about this one. Just watch the documentary, because I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right now. Right here and right now.
This movie fucking sucks.
Alien Resurrection is not a great film by any source of the imagination. This is one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen, and also one of the worst fucking sequels I've ever had to see. The only positives I can give this movie is John Pierre Jeunet did try to make the film look competent from a direction standpoint. I have seen a little bit of Amelie, so I know he is a competent director, and he does try to make the best movie he can in terms of his direction. There's also some moments of action which is really entertaining here, which, taking a lot of what this movie does in the story and the way that this premise goes, which makes little to no fucking sense, I'll give credit. I'll give credit. The visuals are decent at times. I will give it that. Especially from a cinematography standpoint, the movie looks good by Darius Khondji. It looks like a film. I'll give it that. It looks like a movie. I'll also say I like the score by John Frizzell. The score is competent. I'll give it that. From a filmmaking standpoint, they did try. And the practical effects of the xenomorph, despite how ugly it looks, it does look fine. and I'll say the acting overall from the cast, Sigourney Weaver does fine, despite the fact that this is a different Ripley, of course. I'll also say Brad Dourif does fine. Winona Ryder is good here. I like Michael Wincott here. So the cast overall, they're fine. They did their job. Now as far as who the fuck did not do their job.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this right now. There is another Alien movie that's worse than this. There are certainly worse movie sequels I've reviewed worse than this, like Mean Girls 2 and the Twilight Saga New Moon. The list of the worst movies ever, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Starting off from the story, this story makes little to no sense. And those of you who enjoy this as a guilty pleasure or something, more power to you. But this script feels heavily weird, heavily mandated, and on top of that, heavily boring. Because every single decision that's made in this movie is highly incompetent here. This script is terrible from a screenwriting standpoint. It feels like none of this is being shown in a way that is nonsensical, especially since this is Joss Whedon, which I know he is a good writer and such, but the way this movie is written and mandated, it feels like a lot of weird, all over the place decisions here. You have Brad Dourif's character so obsessed with the xenomorph, calling it a beautiful butterfly, and uses Chucky voice, and it gets ruined. Ruined!
I can't tell you.
Because you don't listen. You're ignorant.
Silence! Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
Also on top of that, I just feel like from a filmmaking standpoint, I'm sitting here watching this and I'm heavily irritated at a lot of choices made in the script. A lot of choices made here with characters. Aside from Sigourney Weaver and Winona Ryder and maybe Michael Wincott, I don't give a fuck about anyone else in this. So when they die, I don't give a shit who lives and who dies, because I didn't care. Also on top of that, the xenomorph design, despite the practicality from Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff Jr., it looks highly embarrassingly bad.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
What the hell do you have me watching here? And it just looks like, wow, you really could not. To top it all off in another negatives here, I'll say the movie just feels like I'm sitting here watching some of the most obnoxious stuff happen. And none of it is competent. None of it is goodly made. And I sit there frustrated as hell watching this bullshit. So the fact that I'm having to sit here and be borderline irritated at a lot of choices made, you know you done fucked up. You know you done fucked up when I'm sitting here not giving a shit about anything. And that is the biggest movie's faults.
Bullshit! That is bullshit!
That is a big casual failure here. Also, to top it all off, the effects in here, aside from a few good competent shots, most of it just looks really bad despite the budget here. And I don't want to say this is an incompetent mess, because I could tell the visual effects artists try in the documentary. I could tell the director tries, and I could tell they all try to make a decent movie, but it's just the script and characters and the way this movie plays out. I'm sitting here like, wow, you couldn't even thought of a better way to make this movie look competent. And I'm sitting there irritated and angered that the fact that this is not good. When you don't give me anything to work with, what the hell do you think I'm gonna do? I'm going to criticize. And also on top of that, it doesn't help that this movie is boring as hell. The pace here is only an hour, 116 minutes. And I'm sitting here like an hour, 49 minutes. I'm like, no. No. Just no. I sitting here bored to death. Like nothing was happening and nothing was going on here. And this just made me wanted to scream. To top it all off, the way this movie chooses to end is like, hell no. I'm watching this movie and I'm not really having fun with it. The final negative, yes, final negative. This movie goes into stupid, uncanny territory by the end of it. Here. Ripley as a character is completely not Ripley. So I'm sitting here watching this like, wow. You really fucking screwed the pooch with Ripley. Because Ripley was a badass. And again, they do get her back to it. But it's just not the Ripley we know. So I'm sitting here, unfortunately, irritated by the end of it. So overall, Alien Resurrection is one of the worst movies ever. It is the worst Alien film ever. People say Covenant, people say Alien 3, people say AVPR Requiem. No. This is truly the worst Alien film for all of the reasons I explained. There is almost nothing good I can say about this. The only thing I'll give this movie credit for is those few positives mentioned. The cast tries, there's some interesting elements, there's some moments of fun, and John Pierre Jeunet is a competent filmmaker. But you get the congratulations, Discord, of me telling you, get the hell out of my face and fuck this movie. Don't bother with it. Don't talk about it. If you have to watch this, just watch it as a so bad as good, as a hilariosity. If you enjoy this as a guilty pleasure, that's fine. I just don't enjoy this. This movie is irritatingly obnoxious. And when I watch it again, I'm gonna watch it with the commentary just to watch it and see how bad this is. Because this is an embarrassment of a film. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. If you want to see more, my channel icon is up here. If you want to see more content from me, all my social medias are right here in this end card. I will also leave a playlist and a video here for you to see what the channel is about. As always, acknowledge me, stay epictastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.